How do you stop yourself from becoming a victim? Act first. All right, this doesn't mean you go out and you pick fights, but, if you know you're going to be facing a battle of some sort in your life, you have an extreme advantage if you'll act first. Here's what I mean. I'm sitting here waiting for my wife and kids in the car, and I'm reading this book right here called The Most Productive People in History. It's by a guy named Michael Rank, and it's prolific inventors, artists, and entrepreneurs, from Archimedes to Elon Musk. I'm reading here on page 145 about Theodore Roosevelt, and he's obviously one of our past U.S. presidents. He was alive in the late 1800s, early 1900s. I think he died in 1919 or something like that. And one of Roosevelt's friends, at some point in his life, he said, he was quoted as saying, somebody asked, they said, what would be a motto that sums up his life? And he said, if a motto summed up his life, it would be this: action, action, and more action. The dude was a person of action. The guy took action on things. Once he had his sights set on something, he went after it and he did it. And, you can just study the guy's life and see how it worked out. But, there's a really interesting story here on page 145 where it really, really worked to his favor to not be a victim by acting first. You see, Roosevelt, it says Roosevelt understood that the value of taking the initiative from his study of military history. He knew that the first mover held the advantages, set the terms of engagement, and could surprise an enemy who rested on his laurels. Basically, if you're going to be in a war anyway, and you're out there on missions, you set the ambushes. You might walk into them, but when you set the ambush, you usually have the high ground. You have all the vantage points covered. You know where they're coming from, your enemy, and all the advantages, everything's in your favor. You have the machine guns placed properly, maybe some claymore mines that they're going to walk into that might trigger the ambush. All right, so when you take action first, you're less likely to be a victim. And this could apply to a lot of different areas of your life. I'm not saying if somebody's messing with you that you just walk up and punch them in the face and pick a fight. I'm not saying that. Obviously, there's a time to defend yourself, and I completely believe in that. But something interesting happened. It says an episode from 1884 illustrates this trait, this taking action first. His wife died in childbirth, and his mother died of typhoid on the same day in the same house. I haven't lost a mother or a wife, thank God, but his wife and mother died on the same day in the same house. That's tough. And it says to begin a new chapter in his life, he moved west to work as a cowboy. All right, and he was a rough dude. He didn't sit back in life. He was a very, very rough guy. This is the same dude who got shot in the chest at close range with a revolver while he was on his election trail campaigning, and then proceeded to give a full 90-minute speech before allowing anyone to take him to a hospital. All right, this guy was tough. And it says he moved out there to work as a cowboy. As he got out there, a man had intentions on Roosevelt's ranch. Somebody wanted his ranch. And so what this individual did is he hired a killer named Paddock to get rid of him. Wanted to take him out. All right. Hearing of this, Roosevelt armed himself and rode over to Paddock's residence to end the situation immediately. Roosevelt grabbed his gun and he just went over to the guy's house, the guy who's supposed to take him out. He looked at the guy and he walked up on his porch and he said to him, I understand you have threatened to kill me on sight. I've come over to see when you want to begin the killing. Paddock never bothered him again. That's pretty cool. You see, what Roosevelt didn't do is sit back and wonder if somebody's going to try and break into his house and murder him in the middle of the night. He said, you know what? If this guy's going to do it anyway, I'm getting my gun, I'm going to his house. I'll bring the fight to him. I'm taking action before he has an opportunity to do it. That way he knows what he's up against. And if we're going to do this and I'm going to die anyway, I'm going to go down swinging and I'm going to go to him. I'm going to take action first. Because again, it said he knew there was advantages. He knew there were advantages for the mover, the person who moved first. They set the precedence, like he said here at the top of the page. They set the terms of engagement. All right, and he definitely surprised the guy. I mean, if somebody was sent out to kill you, do you think they would expect you to show up on their front doorstep and say, hey, I hear you've been sent to kill me. I'm here to figure out when the killing's going to begin, and you have a gun in your hand. I mean, that right there, most people are going to back down from that. Some people won't, and it might cost them their life. But, he understood that taking action can help you not be a victim. See, here's one thing about being a victim. It's not just a mentality, but victims are people that things consistently happen to them. It's like they're going through life. It's kind of like the gazelles, you see on National Geographic, and they're wandering through the fields in Africa, and they're just living their life, just, not really thinking about much. But there's this lion, there's this cheetah that is going to come along, and they're just coming along, and they become victims. Circumstances happen to them. They don't create the circumstances. What I'm really saying here. Victims are people who consistently, it's kind of like they keep their head down and they just let life happen to them instead of being the force that creates the situations and the scenarios that take place in life. So if you want to stop being a victim in your life, there was a lot more I could say about this, but I'm going to keep this short. But if you want to stop being a victim or avoid becoming a victim, you need to start taking action first. Remember, Roosevelt's life motto, according to his friend, was action, action, and more action. Just do something. Don't sit back and let stuff happen to you. Get out there and you create the situation that happens in this world, and it has a ripple effect on the people around you and on the community around you, and hopefully it's a good one. But don't sit back and be a victim, just getting punched around and beat around all the time. Be the one that stands up and walks out there and starts making things happen. Don't just get hit by the waves, make the waves. Pretty much, that's probably the best way to put it. So, do you have any advice for not being a victim? Or, I'd love to hear your advice, your opinion. What do you think? I'll tell you this. Leave a comment in the section below. Why do you think? How do you define a victim? That'd be good, because we can get some good discussion going here. How do you define a victim? What is a victim? Leave a comment below. What is a victim? Subscribe if you like this video. And, I travel all over the world speaking and writing books, and I always pop up in different places and do these videos. Right now I'm in Frisco, Texas. And, so if you like this, I'll send you some more videos. You'll get notified. And, again, leave a comment. If you like this, get a thumbs up. If you don't like it, well, you can do what you want. I wouldn't waste my life putting a thumbs down, but if you don't like it, you can. And, leave a comment. What defines a victim for you? Don't be one.